Picture this, the mighty Rome everyone dreams about. Legions crushing enemies under their boots, emperors ruling from foggy Britain to scorching Egypt. Then, in 476 AD, some barbarian warlord named Odoacer just tosses the crown of the last emperor, Romulus Augustulus, into the dirt, and the whole empire collapses without a single scream. How the hell did that happen? Not from one big sword blow. It was poison. Slow, silent poison eating away from the inside. Your pulse starts racing when you realize, back in the 3rd century, during the crisis of the 3rd century, emperors were dropping like flies, 26 of them in just 50 years, rivers of blood. And regular people? They were still planting wheat, completely clueless that the ground beneath them was crumbling. This isn't just history. This is a thriller about how the greatest power on earth poisoned itself. Corruption gnawed at the core. Armies were sold to the highest bidder. Money evaporated like smoke. And nobody yelled, "Stop!"
Let's dive deeper, right into the guts of it. In 27 BC, Octavian Augustus grabs absolute power, and Rome explodes into greatness. Roads snake across continents, aqueducts feed millions, forums buzz with life. But even then, there's a shadow. One man holds everything. That's a ticking bomb. By 180 AD, Marcus Aurelius dies, and his son Commodus turns into a nightmare on the throne, slaughtering lions in the arena, playing hero while senators grovel in terror and taxes strangle the provinces. People out there are seething. Rome is getting fat on our blood. Then, in 212 AD, Caracalla hands out citizenship to everyone. Hooray? No, pure tax grab. The empire swells bigger, but inside, it's hollow. Cracks are spreading, and the tension builds. When is this thing finally going to blow?
Corruption is a snake that slithers right into your soul. In the 1st century, Caligula famously tried to make his horse a senator. Cute, childish madness. By the 3rd century, officials are openly grabbing bribes for breathing. Courts are for sale. Grain shipments vanish into pockets. In 301 AD, Diocletian screams, "We're freezing prices," and the crooks just laugh in his face. Imagine a farmer in Gaul handing over his harvest, and the tax collector grins, "Double it for my good mood." In 388 AD, at Adrianople, Roman legions drown in their own blood against the Goths because the generals are busy fighting over kickbacks instead of fighting the enemy. Trust bleeds out like a slashed artery. In Rome, the Senate is a ghost. Emperors buy loyalty with gold. In 410 AD, Alaric storms in, and the city groans. But it's not shock, it's almost relief. Finally, the mask is off. Corruption had already murdered Rome's soul. The army, once Rome's unbreakable steel, citizens fighting for home and honor. But in the 2nd century, they start hiring barbarians, cheaper, easier. In 235 AD, Maximinus Thrax, a hulking barbarian thug, becomes emperor, first non-Roman on the throne. Romans feel the chill in their bones. Legions are now loyal to whoever pays best, not to the eagle. By the 4th century, half the soldiers are mercenaries, greedy wolves. In 378 AD, the Goths they hired turn and bite the hand that fed them. Emperor Valens dies screaming, his body lost in the chaos. The troops loot instead of fight. In 406 AD, the Vandals pour across the Rhine, frontier like Swiss cheese because mercenaries chase better paychecks. Rome throws gold at them until the gold runs out. Then the shield shatters. Your heart pounds. This is betrayal stabbing you in the back. The economy, the beating heart of the empire, and it's starting to stutter, then flatline. In the 1st century, trade roars, silk from distant China, spices that burn your tongue. But in the 3rd century, inflation devours everything alive. In 64 AD, Nero starts debasing the denarius, mixing in copper. Coins get lighter,
prices skyrocket. In the 250s, the Antonine Plague wipes out millions, fields turn to weeds, workshops go silent. In 301 AD, Diocletian desperately tries to freeze prices, but the black market dances in the shadows. Farmers flee, taxes break backs. By 400 AD, it's apocalyptic. Villas in Britain lie in ruins, roads choke with weeds. In 439 AD, the Vandals rip away North Africa, Rome's breadbasket, and hunger howls through the streets. Dominoes fall, adrenaline spikes. Debasement of money, the silent, merciless executioner. In 100 AD, the denarius shines with real silver, worth a fortune. By 270 AD, Aurelian tries a reform. Too late. The coin is now a copper fraud wearing a thin silver mask. In 301 AD, the edict says bread costs 2 denarii. Reality answers 10 times that. People hide their old silver coins, the new ones are trash. In 364 AD, Valentinian demands taxes in pure gold. Poor scream from hunger, elites get fatter. In 410 AD, as Rome burns, the treasury is an empty coffin. Emperors mint more coins, but it's just poison in the veins. The balloon finally pops, and the shock hits like a hammer.
So when did everyone finally realize the system was dead? In 395 AD, Theodosius tears the empire in two, east and west. That's the death rattle. The west drowns in debt, armies vanish like mist. In 455 AD, the Vandals sack Rome again, drag the empress away, and resistance? Bitter, broken laughter. Why didn't they see it coming? Life kept flowing. In the 400s, the baths are still full of laughter, the arenas still roar. Trouble was always somewhere else, not here. The elite partied in villas, the poor wore chains, but no revolution. Habit blinds you. The moment of truth hits in 476 AD. Odoacer snarls, "We don't need an emperor anymore." And the Romans just sighed? Maybe. The rot had already won. The pain came too late.
Now, here's the part that gives you chills. History echoes. Great powers of the past writhed from exactly the same wounds. Corruption strangles. Armies weaken. Money melts away. Rome screams across the centuries, "Don't ignore the cracks." But we always whisper back, "Yeah, but we're different." Today, you can hear the faint echoes. Economies creak under inflation. Faith in leaders evaporates. This isn't prophecy. It's a slap in the face. A lesson. Guard the foundations. Rome rotted from within, but its fire still burns in us. Laws, dreams, ideas. So look hard into that mirror, friends. Feel it, because we don't want to fall into the same abyss.